Coming up, we're going to talk about the various incentives that DVC will give you in order to take a tour if you're thinking about buying Disney Vacation Club. All that coming up next on this week's episode of The DVC Show. The DVC Show is brought to you by DVCStore.com. You'll save thousands of dollars on your next DVC contract when you let the experts at the DVC Store help welcome you home. Visit them on the web at www.dvcstore.com or call 1-800-550-6493. Okay. That's not a touchscreen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Fiasco's back there doing something on the computer that Pete Shidley is on, and he's touching the screen to try and get a dialog box to go away, but it's a Mac.
That's awesome.
I love him. I love him to death. I really do. He's one of my favorite people. Honest to God, he's one of my favorite people in the world.
I love you too, Pete.
Welcome to the show, folks. Hope your week is off to a good start. Coming to you live from the No, we're not live. What am I saying? Coming to you from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Jackie Gailey.
Hi, guys.
From the DVC Store, Mr. Jerry Saito.
Hello.
Joining us via Skype, Mr. Pete Shidley.
Hey, everybody. Giant hand.
Giant hand of Pete Shidley. And back in the production nook, our associate producer, Mr. Corey Fiasconaro.
Welcome home.
And before we get started, just a couple things. If you are thinking about renting points, let's say you're not a DVC member, you want to try before you buy, or you are a DVC member and you don't have the points you need, you can give the folks at DVC Store a call, 1-800-550-6493. They'll help you rent out your points, or they'll help you rent points for your next stay. You can also transfer points. We just did a show on that. So if you want to transfer between DVC members, it's a quick way to get some money. But if for some reason you've decided that you want to sell your contract, they can help you out there as well. 1-800-550-6493. And as we've mentioned previously, those new contracts, man, they're going fast.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, typically less than 30 days on the market is what we tell sellers, but it's not unusual to sell one in 10 minutes.
I'll tell you, the last couple months, like, they're there and then they're gone.
Yeah.
We started doing the text message alert where you can sign up. What's the number?
888-111.
So you text 888-111, and you can sign up to get an alert anytime a contract at a specific resort and specific use here is available. So let's say I really want Copper Creek in September. You can sign up for a text alert, Copper Creek in September, and as soon as one comes in that matches that, you'll get an alert. And that has really helped.
It's tremendous because, we do an email update and people watch the email updates. It goes out every day at 9 a.m., but you're not always in front of your computer and you may miss a listing. That text message alert, when we get the listing, you get it. So if you've signed up for it, but it could be 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 8:30 at night, whenever. So it's,
as soon as it comes in, it goes out. And you can sign up for those text alerts. You can sign up for the email blast, dvcstore.com. You can actually sign up for the text alerts on their website now. So nice and easy way to stay in touch. But in this episode, we are going to talk about the tour incentives that DVC gives to people when they try to get them to take these DVC tours. And the reason that we decided to do this was because there's a thread on disboards outlining what people have gotten as a tour incentive. And it varies dramatically.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we've seen? I know some of you followed the thread.
Yeah, so I think the staple of what they offer to the biggest group of people are a $25 gift card per person and 3 limited fast passes. So that's going to be limited to you can't use it on the major rides like Frozen, Flight of Passage, can't use it on Mine Train, stuff like that, the Toy Story rides. But this thread kind of was like a big eye-opener because apparently you can get offered a lot more. Now, I thought I was getting hooked up because when we did our tour, we were offered $50 gift cards apiece. So I got a $50 gift card. Haley got a $50 gift card. My wife Haley, and I was like, wow, that's more than I thought that we were going to get. I thought we would just get 25, but apparently I've seen on this thread that people were getting offered 175. They were getting offered 4 any use fast passes. There was one couple who said they got a $200 gift card. There were lots of 50s, lots of 25s, but it was a huge range of different incentives that people were getting. I've also heard of people being offered pins with, Riviera pins, which are going to be pretty exclusive because you're not going to really find Riviera pins yet unless you do the tour like this. So that was pretty cool. I've seen some people got Stitch pins with Alani on it with Stitch on it. That's pretty cool. So and I heard one person reached out to me specifically and said, "Oh, I did my tour off a cruise line, so that's where I got the pins." But they were for resorts like Riviera and Alani, so not. DVC isn't related really to cruise line in that aspect, anyways. But you get the picture. But yeah, just huge different range of different incentives people have been getting.
And one of the posts I'm seeing here on that thread, folks got $150 in gift cards and 3 anytime fast passes per person in the party.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
I was just looking at that one too.
I didn't get squat. I didn't get squat.
There used to not be an incentive. It used to be you just voluntarily showed up to that tour and took the presentation on your own time and got nothing. So it's interesting that, now they're really trying to get you there with incentives.
But I just wonder what's the rationale, do you think, Pete, behind giving one person $50, another person $150, one person gets fast passes, one person gets, 3 nights in the Taj Mahal?
Yeah.
What's the rationale behind that, do you think?
That's a good question, because in the end, it's going to get around, right? It's going to get around that I got 25
Yeah,
bucks.
have they not heard of
this other
social
person-
media?
What?
Have they not heard of social media?
Yeah, I don't know, because I was always under the impression what Corey said, that here's a standard, you get 3 fast passes, you get $50 or whatever per person, or up to 2 people, whatever it is. So I'm surprised to see, looking at that thread, how inconsistent it is. Now, a couple posters mentioned that it's different if you're coming from a value or moderate resort than if you're coming from a deluxe resort. They seem to indicate the value and moderate resorts get $50 and the deluxe resorts get $75. But even that, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. Are you more likely to deserve more money because you're at a deluxe resort? I don't know.
One person, I don't know. One person said here that, they tend to give better incentives if you're staying on property.
Right.
They were offered $50 per person, but when they found out they were staying at Pop, they offered it, they upped it to $75. So maybe it is. Maybe it does matter if you're staying at deluxe or off property or on property. I know the incentives when Sean and I were on the cruise to Alaska back in August, which is when he bought at Alani. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I know we got shipboard credits. We got like really healthy shipboard credit.
Nice.
They were giving us there were gifts every day.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that. So there you're not actually taking a tour; you're just getting the pitch. But we both said, wow. Plus there was an incentive off the price of the actual contract. I want to say it was like $1,500. It was something along those lines. I may be wrong, but it was those were the things that were being offered, and it made it very attractive to buy on the cruise. Very attractive. And from what I understand, the best incentives are when you're buying on a cruise, and even more so when you're buying on a DVC member cruise. I've heard stories about ridiculous incentives being offered on the member cruises. But it's just, I don't know. But I got to tell you, the tour is fun. I enjoy, I did it backwards. I bought, then did the tour. Probably why I didn't get anything. But
that's what I did too.
yeah, but the way they do it, at least, the experiences I've had, and I think most people have, there are a couple of exceptions. It's a no pressure situation.
Yeah.
They kind of tell you, depending, if you get a good guide, they're going to tell you the truth about, okay, you have restrictions here, you have this, you have that. And then you get that little ice cream thing at the end.
Yeah.
If you do it over at Saratoga Springs, which is where the main center is, and that's where they have the mock room set up for, I think, right now it's, is it Olani and Riviera?
Riviera,
I believe
yeah.
so.
I'm pretty sure it's Riviera and Copper Creek still, isn't it?
Still Copper Creek?
I mean, since I did it, which was back in April. So since April, it was Copper Creek.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Probably. But it was fun.
We had fun when we did it so many years ago, and there were 9 of us.
Yeah,
there,
and you
it
really
was
don't
fun.
you don't ever really think of a timeshare tour being fun.
Never.
But this is different.
Yeah, it's so different. There's no pressure. I mean, it really is fun. So
Yeah, and they definitely don't. Other timeshares will basically try to trap you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I've always
And
considered them like a
they're-
root
you
canal.
never
Like,
feel
Yeah.
like that
I want to go.
on the DVC tour. If you say I've had enough, they let you walk away. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't imagine an awful lot of people are just like, throwing their hands up and storming out of
Get me out of here.
a
kind of thing.
DVC thing because it's just not like that.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I mean, you already obviously like Disney enough that you're there, so you already like what they're selling. It's a matter of can we do this? Can we afford this? How are we going to make this happen?
I would also like to mention things that everybody will get on the tour. Well, when you buy DVC, you get the DVC backpack. But just when you show up to the tour, you get the little nip bag. So you're going to leave with that nip bag that says Disney Vacation Club on it. So 2 bags if you buy. But then also when you arrive to the DVC Tour Center, they usually have like some breakfast type spreads laid out. Like
Yeah, they had some
bagels,
nice-
donuts, pastry, stuff like that, coffee, juice, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, they've got a nice little reception area where they do have snacks and they have coffees and, like lemonade, water, stuff like that was there. It was really nice.
And they took us back to one of the parks. I can't remember now, but that was the bee's knees for us.
They will pick you up and drop you off.
Yeah, they did that, and that was one of the things that I just thought was the coolest thing because we never rented a car, so we always used Disney transportation, so that took absolutely forever. So the fact that they could just pile us all in the van and drop us off right at the front entrance of whichever park we were going to that day, oh my gosh, we just loved that.
And so for when you're setting yourself up for these tours, I mean, they have the ASAs, which are these kiosks, these booths, these people that work at those booths all over, whether it's at a resort or at the theme parks or wherever, Disney Springs. So is that typically how people are doing the tours as they go see them? Or are they at the resort, they pick up the phone, they dial the DVC number to get a tour? How do people tend to get on these tours?
Well, you go,
They
you
schedule
have the
it.
kiosks are set up all over the place.
Yeah.
And you just walk up to a kiosk, and
Tell them
those
you wanna
sales
go?
associates there will you tell them, and they'll usually
Yeah.
talk to you about it a little bit and kind of pre-qualify you almost, just in terms of seeing gauging where your interest is, and then they'll make the appointment for you to go.
And is that where they offer you the incentive?
I
Or-
believe so.
At the-
I believe
yeah.
so. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
and I think it's pretty common for them to always do the fast passes because they're basically taking you away from your vacation for a few hours, and they know that. So I think that's partly where that came from. I think they've been doing that for a long time. I think the gift cards have been more recent years that they've started adding that gift card, and it sounds like the amount of the gift card varies quite a bit. It seems like.
And speaking of the sales associates at the kiosk, I got to give a shout out to Joyce, my friend Joyce.
Yeah.
Fiasco and I met her when we were over at the boardwalk, and she was working in the preview center there. I love that they still have the boardwalk preview, even though they're not actively selling boardwalk. That preview center is still open. You can see the rooms, the studio and the 1-bedroom for boardwalk in there, and we got to talking with her and had a really great conversation. And then I think it was the next day or the day after we were over at the Grand Floridian. I
Yeah.
think we were doing the review for Grand Floridian Cafe. and she was working the desk right there, right outside the restaurant. We chatted with her then, and like we've exchanged phone numbers and we chat back and forth. And she's awesome, absolutely awesome. So if you happen to run into a guide named Joyce, she is fantastic.
Yeah, actually, while you were away in your ABD, I actually was at the Wilderness Lodge, and I caught up with her and saw her there.
Oh.
And I totally spaced. She says hi, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, yeah, but that's I think that's most of the. What other ways would there be to set up the tour? I guess you can call them.
You can call them directly and say, I want to take the tour, and they will arrange. I mean, you basically schedule a date, and they will come to your hotel and pick you up.
But I would almost guarantee if you call like that, they're not going to give you anything.
Yep.
You're not going to get an
you're
incentive.
going to get less for that. I would definitely go to one of the. If you're down there for a period of time, I would go early in your trip. If you're interested in taking the tour, go to one of the booths. Go to either the hotel or at the theme park. But it's probably just as easy to do it at your hotel. I don't know if all of them have DVC. I mean, I've been staying at DVC resorts and they all have them, but I don't know if you go to Pop
I know
Century
I'm pretty sure all the deluxes do.
Right. But I don't know if
I don't know
about.
I mean, I've been to Art of Animation a few times, and I don't remember seeing a kiosk. But
And I've got
don't either.
to wonder. Do you think playing hard to get at those kiosks ups the incentive?
I think that's what it is. I think if you walk up and you're just like, hey, I want DVC. Can you set me up on a tour? You're probably going to get a $25 gift card. But if you kind of wander over and was
Well, explain to me what this is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
it sounds interesting, but I don't know.
Right.
You do the hard to get thing.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because I bet the guides are probably given a certain maximum, so they get to decide what they're going to do.
They have limits, I'm sure.
Yeah. So if you breathe wrong or something, they're like, you can forget it.
But there's certainly plenty of spots in the parks for going up to a kiosk, and as I said, to me, I would do it early in the trip because then you can schedule your day based on your plans for your trip. If you have a free day or something like that, you can take the tour. You can still get those, anytime fast passes and not really disrupt it. It's not like you have to go up to that booth and then they like sweep you off into a van and you got to go take that tour right that minute. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Interesting.
I think it's well worth. If you haven't bought, it's definitely worth doing the tour to see how they present it. Even if you are more interested in resale than you are in direct buying, take the tour. It doesn't hurt to see what it's all about.
Yeah, not to mention, like you get a view of what those villas look like. So those are two rooms you probably wouldn't have seen, whether it's Riviera or Copper Creek. But at least you're getting a feel for that accommodation. Maybe you're not staying at a DVC resort. You don't know what they're like. So it's a good option just to get that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it, there's some information for you on tour incentives for checking out DVC at the parks.
Well, by the way, my incentive is I can save you thousands if you
There
want.
you go.
So that's my incentive. Call me.
There you go.
I'm not going to give you a fast pass, but I can save you
$50 from Disney and then go see Jerry.
There you go.
Yeah, really. There you go. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week's episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another edition of the DVC Show. Have a great week, folks.